Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Grow With Me. I'm your host, Aziza. In today's episode, we want to talk about something different. Well, so far, we have basically been talking about topics related to business, related to marketing, professional growth, related to protecting energy, like saving your mental growth. We even talked about return on investment. Basically, all these topics are really important. Nobody can deny that. They are really important. They are extremely important, and we need them. And we will go back to them. But today's topic is a little bit different, but it is very important. It is really important. Why? Because I am very sure that each one of us has some experiences with that. Each one of us has somehow dealt with it, maybe in a different way, but we dealt with it. Or maybe we are still dealing with that because it is not always easy to master the skills of protecting your energy from toxic people. You heard me right. Toxic people. And this is basically the topic of today's episode: toxic people. How is it possible for us to protect our energy, protect our space, and protect our mentality, like mental peace, from toxic people? How is it possible for us not to live in toxic environment? How is it possible for us not to work with toxic colleagues? Although you might not have the chance to maybe to move from the company, but you need to deal with these toxic people, toxic colleagues. So today I will show you how is it possible to have a mental block if you really need to work with toxic colleagues, right? So basically, before diving into today's episode, I want you to have your favorite drink, whether it's a cup of coffee, cup of tea, cup of matcha, maybe a glass of juice, so that you enjoy your drink while listening to today's episode. At the same time, if you have some questions, if you want to share some tips, some tricks, some advice on how to deal with these people, how to deal with toxic people, how to protect your energy, all these things, you're always welcome to share your opinions down below in the comments because we are here to grow together. I am here to grow and I want you to grow with me. And this is basically the purpose of the podcast: grow with me. So, yeah, as I said, we need to talk about these toxic, all right? These toxic people. We need to talk about energy, especially the energy that drains you. So, when it comes to toxic people or toxic environments, even toxic places that actually look so beautiful from the outside, but it makes you feel like you are being in a cage. It makes you feel that you are in a cage for a long time. And trust me, when I say for a long time, it doesn't mean maybe for maybe for 3 years, 4 years. It can even be for a long time, like even like for a lifelong, all right? Because I know actually some people who have been experiencing this particular drain for the entire life actually, and they are still not able to move on. Perhaps because of the people they live with at home, or maybe neighbors, or maybe friends. etc. Like there are actually situations where people are still not able to move on, despite the fact of knowing that this particular person is draining their energy. And we will talk about that a bit later. So, when I say for a long time, a lot of people um, felt that they had to stay. Why they had to stay? Because they felt that loyalty means staying where they are. A lot of people believe that they need to stay in an environment that drains their energy because they feel that they have to. If they cut off, it makes them feel rude maybe. It makes them feel bad. It makes them feel down at themselves. But here is the truth. Your peace is a priority, not an option. You really need to take care of your peace. Your peace is a priority. What does that mean? That means your peace is number one. You really need to take care of your peace. Nobody else can take care of your peace except you. You need to take care of your peace. And this is not an option. This is an important thing. Like, same like, for example, in the morning, you need to drink your water. Like, you need to drink some cups of water. Nobody can drink that for you. You need to do it. You know that if you don't drink water, what happens? You die in the end. So, maybe you will not die immediately, you will experience some consequences. But what I'm saying is that if you, like, nobody can drink water for you, you need to drink yourself. For example, for me, I need my coffee every day. Nobody can do that for me. And this is my priority. If I don't have my coffee, the world is I will never see the world. Okay, for example. So, I mean, this is what happens when we say priority. Your peace is priority. Your energy is priority. You really need to protect your environment. You really need to protect your energy. You really need to protect your peace, right? You can't actually bloom in a place that is designed to keep you small. That is for sure. If you feel that people around you laugh at your ambition, if you feel that they mock your hard work, that means they are not actually your people. They are just distractions. And you really need to pack your stuff and leave. Seriously, this is really important. You really need to check your environment. You need to see the people you are surrounded with, especially friends. If you feel that these friends, or maybe let's say colleagues, all right, if you feel that these people are not supporting you, if you feel that these people are not motivating you and they are not pushing you um to become successful, you need to question that. Trust me. People who love you will always want to see you successful, no matter who they are. If the person you are with, maybe let's say your partner, maybe your husband or wife, your boyfriend or girlfriend, all right? If that person doesn't want to see you successful, that means you need to squeeze yourself and leave. I know it might not be easy, but I don't think you want to live or you want to have a relationship where you don't feel yourself. I know some people who don't want to leave. I have some friends like that, but I don't actually agree. I feel like if I am in a situation where my partner, for example, doesn't support me, I mean, I don't mean support like financial support, doesn't support me, doesn't motivate me, doesn't push me to continue seeing success, In this case, I have to squeeze myself and say goodbye. Well, the goodbye doesn't come immediately. You need to have some talks with that person. You need to understand. Maybe that person doesn't know how to push. Maybe that person loves you, but in a different way. Like maybe doesn't know how to push you, but at the same time supporting you financially, let's say, but you want that person to support you verbally by maybe motivating you, by saying good things to you, maybe, all right? So you need to talk. You need to let them know what you think, what you feel about. You need to let them know how you feel in this situation. All right. So this is the thing. But let's say you spend time talking with them, reminding them, showing them what you like, what you don't like, but still they are not doing what you want. Still, they are doing the opposite just to make you feel bad and just to make you feel down. Well, in this case, it is better for you to leave everything and go, really. So this is the thing, like this is what I mean by your peace is a priority. And also when it comes to the people who laugh at your ambition, meaning that if you share your ambitions with them, let's say you want to maybe you want to apply for a particular thing, or maybe you want to buy some online courses because you feel that that online course can actually help you grow, all right? But you share your ambition with them, and instead of supporting you, instead of pushing you to do it, they start laughing at you, or maybe they start making you feel so small. They start mocking your dreams, mocking your hard work. So in this case, why do you need to keep on being with them? Why do you need to keep yourself surrounded with these people? This is what I mean by toxic people. And they can be friends, by the way, because a lot of friends actually don't like seeing their friends growing. Why? Because these friends, like these negative friends, all right, are not actually caring about their lives. So if these negative friends don't really care about their lives, how are you expecting them to care for you? Really, like, how do you expect them to care for you if they don't even care about themselves? If they don't even want to see themselves successful, how do you expect them to see you successful? Unless you don't share your ambition with them. But what kind of friendship where you don't share your ambition or you don't talk about what you want with your friends? Are they actually real friends? Are they really good friends? Well, maybe they are not good friends for success. Maybe they are good friends for short meetup. Maybe. All right? Because there are actually some friends who are just good for like a short meetup. Like maybe they are good at maybe making some jokes, let's say. Maybe they are good um like sharing some funny moments for maybe a short meetup like 1 hour, 2 hours long, maybe. But they are not the kind of friends that you wish to share your dreams or you wish to share your latest updates with them. I don't think so. You need to share your updates with people who really value your presence, who really value your success. So be careful with whom you share. So, yeah, like today I am actually sharing how I chose myself, how I left the noise behind to find the silence I needed to grow professionally as well as personally. Because sometimes the best thing you can do for your future self is to simply walk away without saying a word, without fighting, without letting them know. Where basically, to be honest with you, even if you go, sometimes they don't really miss your presence until later time. So that is why it's okay actually to walk away without saying a word. It's okay sometimes because really fighting will simply drain your energy, especially with people who don't have any, like, who don't have any values, who have nothing to lose. So I don't think the fight can actually, I mean, I don't think the fight deserves a piece of your energy. Seriously. So, this is what you need to do. Whenever you feel that you don't belong to that society, like to that society of friends or people, all right, what you need to do is that you just need to walk away without saying a word. Really, do that. I know it hurts. I definitely know that, but trust me, it is just a matter of time and everything will be perfect. Personally speaking, I was in such situations, all right? But what happened to me is that I used to ignore the signs. The signs were so clear, like really clear to me, but I ignored them. I used to think like maybe they are just having bad day, or maybe I'm being too sensitive, or maybe they are going through some dramas in life. That is why they behave in that way. But trust me, my intuition was actually right back then. And same to you, actually. If you feel that the situation you are in is not really helping you, so you need to trust your intuition. Your intuition is never wrong. Your intuition is actually that small voice in your head that tells you something is actually wrong, something is off before you can even realize it. Seriously, you need to listen to your intuition because your intuition will show you some red flags, some red signs, and you should not ignore that. You need to take it very seriously. Personally, I actually started seeing the red flags, the passive aggressive comments about my work or about my ambition, about my study. I mean, these are the things that I like sharing with people. I like sharing about things that can help me grow because I want to hear their opinions. Well, it doesn't mean that I am always a serious person who always talks about work, research, things like that. No, no, no. I mean, there are actually times where I need some fun moments. This is very much important, and this is basically for everyone, but not all the time. Like, there are times where we need to have serious talks. So, there were actually situations where I didn't feel good. I felt my energy was somehow drained every time I saw those particular people. But I didn't understand why I felt so drained. I didn't understand. Or maybe I understood, but I ignored. I really don't know. But the thing that I am very much sure of is that I started seeing the red flags, but I ignored actually the red flags. So it's like really the passive aggressive comments that I received about my research or about things that I really want to do. The way the room actually went silent when I shared some of my success. Seriously, every time I shared something, the place went silent, or they start like, I mean, some of them, two of them actually, to be, these two people started like mocking my success, making me feel so down back then. Well, they didn't want to see me fail, let's be real. But they definitely didn't want to see me fly. Why? Because they don't want to see themselves flying, and that is why they don't want others to fly as well. And really, like, I have this particular friend who got really mad at me simply because I shared my ambition about my PhD. When I told her at that time that I really want to continue, I want to pursue with my PhD, she changed. She really mocked me. Like, she was like, why? Why do you want to do your PhD? It's okay, just go for another master. Who you think you are? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is something that I never expect even from my enemy. I never ever imagined someone saying such a thing to me. And she's actually a friend. But yeah, it really hurts me a lot. But seriously, actually, she's a good person, all right? Let's be real, she's a good person, but she's the kind of a person who doesn't like to work on herself, and so she doesn't want others to work on themselves as well. She wants everyone to be on this at the same page with her. Well, in my case, I don't mind being with people who are lower than me. I mean, lower than me, like professionally, all right? Like, let's say, maybe, like, for example, um, I am like, let's say I work as a university doctor, all right? But for them, they work maybe in something less than me professionally. I don't mind that because, personally speaking, I am not the kind of a person who always wants to be surrounded by people who have the same profession as me, who have this, um, who are expert as me. Okay, I am not really. I don't have enough experiences, let's be real, but still, there are actually a lot of people who don't want to continue maybe with their PhDs or maybe with their postgraduate level. That's fine. My only concern is behavior. I want the people to have a good behavior. I want people to respect me. I want people to appreciate me. This is what I want. But people who demotivate me or who laugh at my ambition, this is a big red flag, really. And I don't want that in my life. So, so yeah, seriously, like, this is something that you too need to take care. And that's the thing about a toxic environment. It's like actually a slow poison. You don't notice it until you are too exhausted to even get out of bed. So, really, like for me, when I started with my PhD classes, I suppose to be at the peak of my intellectual journey, but I feel so paralyzed. Like, really, I remember that moment when I started with my first semester. I didn't feel the joy. I felt so drained and I was kind of questioning my presence. I was like wondering if I did the right thing. Really? And this is so weird. Like, I know that when people start with something, they should have energy. They should be so happy, so motivated, so inspired. But in my case, I did not feel that. I felt like I felt like being paralyzed actually. I felt that I did not have the energy even to even like get out of my bed. I felt I did not have the energy to even have my coffee on that day. Like seriously, I experienced a lot of dramas in my life, but the thing is that I felt like the reason behind all of this is that I was actually giving my best energy to people who only wanted to dim my light. So, what I did was that I decided to stop explaining myself because here is a secret. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace and protecting your energy. And I started practicing the gray rock method. The gray rock method is where you stop explaining yourself, you stop being so interesting, you stop showing any interest, you stop showing and sharing your dreams, and you stop even reacting to other people's dramas. This is what we call the gray rock. The gray rock is like where you feel that you don't have any emotions to share. People don't see your emotions. People see you with mixed signals. They don't understand how you feel. When they talk about something, they don't get any reaction from you. And you stop even talking about your dreams. You stop even sharing about your daily experience with them. And when they say things like, hi, or how was your day, you simply say, yeah, it was good. But how good? No, nothing happened. Like that, actually. So, this is the gray rock. You stop sharing. And I did that actually. I started practicing this method, and it really works. I realized that my silence was more powerful than any argument. Well, I didn't need to win, let's be real. I just needed to leave. Really, I just needed to leave that situation. And to leave that situation peacefully, I what I did was that I got out silently. Really. I simply got out. Like I got out without any fights. And it was the the most successful step I ever made back then. So really, like, you just need to leave whenever you feel that your presence is not really important, when you feel that you are being in a place that simply drains your energy. Really, just do it. Just go and leave. Because the thing is that the leaving part is really difficult. Let's be real. And I am being very honest here. Once you decide to leave, you will have some difficult moments. Why? Because once you leave, you will experience some loneliness. And people are so afraid of being alone. But honestly, loneliness is actually a gift when it comes after difficult situations, when it comes after toxicity, really. In that silence, actually, you will start finding yourself again. But that doesn't happen immediately. Let's be real. It takes time, but it happens. And so for me, I found myself. I found I found what I need to do. I found Aziza who loves to create, Aziza who loves being ambitious, who loves being inspired, who loves doing what she likes, what she loves doing actually. And same to you. Once you leave, right, you will experience some loneliness, but what you need to do is that try to do the things that you did not have time for back then. Like, for example, maybe back then you did not have time to maybe to go shopping. So in this case, now it is time for you to go shopping. Maybe back then you did not have time to learn, maybe to take some courses. Now it is time for you to turn on your laptop, search on maybe LinkedIn or search maybe in Udemy. Um, Look for some courses that can actually help you grow professionally and start. Really start. Maybe back then you did not have time to even clean your room, or maybe clean your house, or maybe decorate your house. Now it is time to do that. So you need to ask yourself, what are the things that you did not have time for? What are the things that you kept on postponing every time these people asked you to go with them? What are the things that you did not have time for back then? The things that you kept on postponing should be done right now, should be done when you feel alone, because the loneliness feeling is a pain. Can be a pain if you don't use it for yourself. So in my case, actually, when I started um, that particular chapter where I felt a bit on my own without these friends, without having any notifications from them. That moment was kind of hard because I somehow missed the notifications from them. Maybe I got used to the noise on my phone. Maybe. So what I did was that, well, honestly, it was really painful time. Like it was really a painful experience. But I started actually working on myself. I started um, working on my chapters. I started seeing the things that I did not have time for back then. And I started. So, same to you. You just need to do what you need to do. And by the way, being alone is 1,000 times better than being with people who make you feel alone. Really, being alone is always amazing, actually. It's like the moment after you have closed the door, but before the light comes back in. This is the moment. And actually, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that space in between, the space where you decide to close the door and before the light comes in. So, as I said, this is a very important moment. People actually call it loneliness, but personally, I don't really like the word loneliness. I like to call it the great silence. Why the great silence? Because once you close the door, You need to start working on yourself. You need to start working on your presence, on your values before the light comes back in. So at first, it feels heavy. Really, it feels heavy. You might wake up and reach for your phone, looking maybe for some notifications that isn't there anymore. You might feel strange guilt because you would feel like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Did I actually do the right thing? Did I actually, am I actually a good person? Did I do the right step? Really, that strange guilt will be there for quite some time, and that will even disturb you mentally because you will be somehow listening to that inner voice within your in your head. That inner voice will start bugging you, will start saying things like, oh, you are a very bad person, you should not clear them off, you should have tried to be more patient with them, you should have maybe um, given them another chance, you should have given them more. So basically, you will be listening to these particular disturbing moments, and trust me, these are not real. The voice in your head is not always real. It is simply disturbing. So you should not take it seriously, alright? And also that feeling of a strange guilt is not real. Really is not real. So really, you might feel strange guilt as if you have done something wrong by choosing yourself. So really, that is not real, that strange guilt. It is just the sound of your mind trying to remember who it was before it had to constantly be in your own privacy. So really, be careful with that, all right? And also, like in between leaving them and finding yourself, there is always something called waiting room. What do I mean by waiting room here? Waiting room is actually a place where you face your own reflections. You will feel the urge to go back just because the old pain feels more familiar than the new emptiness. But I am here to tell you that you really need to stay where you are. You need to stay at your new place, which is your new emptiness. Seriously, sit in that emptiness for a while because after some time, you will start actually to notice things you missed. Maybe the sound of your own thoughts when they aren't being interrupted by someone else's drama. Maybe you'll start noticing the things you need to focus on to achieve your goals. You will actually realize that the boredom you feel is actually peace, and you are just not used to it yet, really. So, what I want you to do is that I just want you to hold on, all right? Be in that emptiness room for a while because that emptiness room feels like a detox. You are basically in that emptiness room to clear your mind. So it's like a detox. It feels like a detox. Your nervous system is finally learning that it doesn't have to fight or flee anymore. And this is where the magic actually happens. In this lonely space, you start to hear your own intuition again. But that voice that whispered you are meant for more starts to get louder. So that intuition, And as I said in the beginning, that intuition is really strong, and you really need to pay attention to your intuition. I spoke about it when we started the episode. When I said that intuition is very much important, you need to pay attention to your intuition. And same thing, when you are in that emptiness space, you will start um, hearing your own intuition, and you will start hearing something that whispers you are meant for more. And you are meant for more sign will start getting louder and louder and louder. And by then you will start being so inspired, you will start being so motivated, you will start having the hunger. Yeah, you will be so hungry for success, you will be so hungry for completing some work. You will start feeling so hungry for joy, really for joy as well. So you just need to hear your own intuition. By then, you will start to enjoy your own company. You realize that drinking, for example, your coffee alone while reading maybe a newspaper or maybe while working isn't actually sad. It's a freedom. You are no longer performing for an audience that does not appreciate the show. You are just being yourself, really. So, if you are actually there, I am here to tell you not to worry. It is just a temporary phase in life and you will be great. Don't be afraid. You aren't losing your life. You are simply clearing the ground. Why? Because you are building a new one. You are building a better one. All right? So seriously, you need to clear that space, and it's okay actually to be there. For how long? Well, nobody knows. But don't wait until you are ready. Don't wait until you are done. Because if you want to be in that emptiness space until you are ready, well, I am here to tell you that will never happen. Because being ready is actually a lie that we tell ourselves when we are afraid. For example, for me, if I had waited until I felt ready, well, honestly speaking, I would still be sitting in that emptiness room without doing anything, without starting my podcast, without continuing with my PhD, without focusing on my research, without working on my business. Really. And I started doing that without being ready. Like, if you listen to my first episode, you will feel shocked because in my first episode, I wasn't actually knowing how to perform, I would say. And also, like in my first episode, I mentioned the number of times the I repeated myself. I think it was 18 times or something like that. And also for my study, like I I decided to continue without being ready. Well, yes, last year was kind of crazy for me because I didn't know what I was doing. Like 2025 was kind of crazy for me. I wasn't sure of anything. I didn't know where I was directing myself to, but I decided to try. I decided to give myself a chance. And also, like for my work, for my business, I started without being ready. I just wanted to test everything. Because seriously, if I decided to wait until I'm ready, That will never happen. I will die without being ready. So, yeah, that is why I actually decided to break the silence and let myself see the light one more time. And here's my advice to you. What you need to do is that you just need to take a look at the five people you spend the most time with. Let's say you are not sure how to tell if the people you are with are toxic or not. So you just need to see, like you really need to take a look at the five people you spend the most time with. And how do you feel when you are with them? Do you feel exhausted after having a conversation with them? Do you feel do you feel like a stranger, not able to share your thoughts with them? Do you feel so drained? Like, do you feel emotionally drained every time you finish the conversation with them? This is number one. Number two, you need to learn the art of being unreachable. Well, you don't need to answer every text message. You don't need to attend every gathering. You don't need to say yes when you actually want to say no. You don't need to go out when you feel so tired and you simply want to spend the weekend at home. It's okay. Your time is the most important thing, especially when you are being yourself, when you are building your legacy. It's okay actually to be busy working on yourself. And if they start laughing, it's okay. Don't worry, ignore. Really. You just need to ignore. But don't fight. Don't say things like, "Why are you laughing at me?" No, no, no. Don't do that. Just ignore. Be quiet. Be silent. All right? Work on silence. Be in that emptiness seat. Be in that emptiness space. Build your emptiness space and work on on your own legacy. Work on building your own legacy. Because your legacy will actually thank you later on. Your legacy will force everyone to respect you, will force everyone to see your presence and appreciate your values. If you spend your time with people who never support you, you will never have the time to build your legacy. If you want to be successful, you need to clear your environment. You need to clear the people who keep on pulling you down. You need to clear the people who never appreciate your presence, who never protect you, who never motivate you. If you want to build your legacy, the first thing you need to do is that clear your environment. This is really important to do that. So the first thing is you need to clear your environment. And because if you clear your environment, you will have time to focus on building yourself, on building your presence. Because people, when I say people, I mean the real people. The real people will appreciate you. The real people will respect you. The real people will see your presence, will see your values. And when they see your values, they will pay you. And who doesn't want to be paid? Who doesn't want money? But how are you expecting money to come to you when you don't have legacy? How are you expecting money to come to you when you don't even know what is actually money? I know a lot of people who don't know the value of money. And it is really sad. So seriously, if you want some money, first thing is clearing your cycle. You need to keep on filtering your cycle over and over and over. If you did it, for example, this month, maybe after few months, you need to reflect. Do you feel good? Do you feel secured? Or do you feel that there are certain people in your circle who need to be out? So, really, you keep on filtering. You just need to do that, all right? Because as I said, your legacy is very much important. And to build your legacy, you need to you need to see who should be in your circle. After that, work on yourself. Work on achieving your dreams. Work on the things that have been postponed. Work on them. Take some courses, attend some workshops, go for maybe seminars, go for some events where you learn more about the topics that they discuss about, and also you get to know more people. And these people, all right, these successful people will actually help you later on to be successful, because when you meet new people, you will build connection with them. So when you build connection with them, they will help you later on when you need, maybe when you need a new job, maybe when you need to build your legacy, maybe when you need to build your name, things like that. All right. The other thing that I want you to take care of is your intuition and also your transition. You really need to trust your transition as well as intuition. We spoke about intuition previously, but now we need to speak about transition. You really need to trust the transition. When you leave toxic people, there will be a period of silence. It might feel lonely at first. It might feel like you are missing out, but that silence is the soil where you need to build, is the soil where your new life is growing. So I am here to tell you not to rush to fill your environment with the new noise. Because if you are rushing to build your environment or to build your space with the new noise, in this case, you did not do anything. You simply cleared one noise to start with another noise. In this case, better to be with that noise. At least you know the people who have been making that noise. But once you start um, building your own space, as I said, you will experience some loneliness, but that's okay because that loneliness will not continue forever. You need to work on that. You need, like, when you feel alone, that means there is a time for you to work on something that you have been postponing. And this is what I always um, translate the meaning of loneliness in my life. Every time I feel alone, I'll be asking myself, like, I feel alone. I feel like there is something missing. So maybe it is time to see what I have been like actually postponing. You just need to sit down and reflect on the things that have been in your life. All right? So, as I said, you don't need to rush to fill the new life with a new noise. You just need to sit with yourself. Get to know the person you become. Get to know yourself. I know a lot of people who don't even know their values. And this is so sad, actually, where we don't even know ourselves. So really, get to know yourself. Get to know the person you became while you were surviving. And remember, your ambition is never too much. Seriously, your ambition is never too much. Your goals are realistic. Maybe they are No, 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 not just maybe, for sure. For sure, they are simply too big for people who have given up on their own. Maybe your dreams and your goals are too big for the people you have been with, because the people you have been with um, did not actually, or maybe they still don't see your values if you are still with them, all right? So maybe these people still don't see your values. Why? Because they don't have values of themselves. They don't see their own values. They don't appreciate their own values. So, how are you expecting them to appreciate your values if they don't appreciate their own? Really? So, this is the thing. You just need to remember that your values are realistic and very much important. Your ambition is never too much. So I just want you to stop asking for a seat at tables where you are not respected. I know it sounds harsh, but let's be real. I am here to tell you the truth. I am here to help you, actually. So, seriously, you need to stop asking to be with people who don't respect you, who don't respect your values, who don't see your presence. You need to go and build your own table if nobody is welcoming you. If you have a project that has been postponed for so long, go and start. Start that project. Write your first page. Maybe work. Take some courses. Do everything possible to see yourself shine again. Because the moment you stop seeking their approval is the moment you truly become free. Is the moment where you truly start to have your power. You start to have your vision and your peace. So, seriously, you just need to take that first step. That first step is really, really important. And I am here with you. I am here to tell you that. I am actually here to tell you that you really need to take that first step. What is the first step? Clear your circle. Get out of those who don't respect you and who don't appreciate your values. So, this is really, really important. So, yeah, basically, this is somehow everything that I came up with so far. But I am very sure if something like if I have like more information, I will definitely have another episode where I speak about. But at the same time, if you have other topics that you want me to speak about as well, please let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you feel that there are some points that I did not speak about clearly, or maybe I missed them, please let me know down below so I speak about them on the upcoming episode as well. And if you have some advice or some tips you would like to share, well, you're always welcome to share them down below because we are here to grow together. I am here to grow and I want you to grow with me. So, yeah, this is basically everything so far. And if you have questions, feel free to leave your questions down below. So, until the next time, I wish you a great day. I wish you a wonderful weekend because I'm recording today's episode on Saturday. So, yeah, I wish you a wonderful weekend and I hope everything goes as you wish. I wish you all the success. I hope everything you dream for will come true. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Thank you so much for everything. I wish you a wonderful day, and I will be looking forward to having you the next time. Have a great day and take care. Bye bye.